Alright, this is the final part. Now after this video, I will upload it and I'll take my shower and I'll enjoy the show with you guys. And I'll watch Radbrad, Detroit Become. I finished the Uncharted Thief's End yesterday, and I'm watching Detroit Becoming Human. That's a sick game. I'm watching Detroit Becoming Human. That's a sick game. I'm watching that right now on Rabbit's channel. Obviously. Yeah. Alright, you're saying that no actor in Hollywood do what you do. No, man. No actor in Hollywood do. There's some actors in Hollywood who I heard there was some generous. I heard some actors in Hollywood took some of their I heard Keanu Reeves did that. I heard Keanu Reeves he took. There's some actors in Hollywood who would gladly take some of their salary and give it to another actor to that way they make sure the actor's well taken care of, obviously. There's some actors who I've heard who have done that, obviously, but most actors won't do that in Hollywood, as they're all greedy people. They're all greedy people, obviously. They're greedy animals. They're all greedy animals. I'm saying? They're all greedy animals. The actors in Hollywood, obviously. Yeah, hence why you gotta watch out, man, for Peter Jackson. As Peter Jackson is greedy, man. He's a greedy pig. He's greedy, obviously. Is he generous? No. Peter Jackson is greedy and cheap. He's not generous like me. As he took the fact that he took that was a true test of his generosity. You know what I'm saying? If Peter Jackson knew how much money those Lord of the Rings actors made, man. You knew how much money they made. They made peanuts. And you know what I'm saying? You made $2 million. You could have done the right thing and given them a good 500 grand of your money at least. They deserved it, man. They fucking worked their ass off for you, and you took the whole thing for yourself. Yeah, man, the whole $250 million, tried it for yourself. If $1 million is too much for Peter, he could have given him at least 500K of his money. That's only $3.5 million. It's not going to hurt you if you make two. But because Peter's greedy, I want to be cent of this. You know what I'm saying? He took the whole thing for himself because he wants every cent of that money. Obviously, he's greedy. Obviously, I want to be sent to this. $1 million is a lot of money. I want to be sent to this. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants to get all this stuff for himself. You know what I'm saying? He's greedy. Obviously, I want to be sent to this. Yeah, he's greedy. Yeah. Ivan, are you greedy? Yes, I'm greedy, but I'm not greedy like Peter. Whereby I want to be sent to this. I'm not that greedy. You know, it's like if I'm more than happy to give the actors a nice piece of my royalties, obviously, but I'm not gonna let them rip me off and then take a good chunk of my money. No, they're not worth it. Give them a nice piece of royalties, but don't let the actors rip you off. Sincere. Don't let the Zayas actors rip you off, obviously. Don't let the Zayas actors rip you off. Sincere. Don't let the Zayas actors rip you off. So you gotta watch out for Peter Jackson. So when I sign the actors, obviously, so once I sign Peter Jackson, he's happy. I take him out to tonight's dinner, if I choose him, obviously, or Mel Gibson. And once I sign his massive contract, obviously, I take him out to dinner, obviously. And once the first year ends, because the first year ended, me and Peter, me and Peter Jackson, my two script developers, we wrote our amazing Xena script. We did all the concept arts. We know what we want our world to look like, and the characters. You know what I'm saying? We made the calls for all the main 7-8 things. So we booked the luxury hotel party for Switzerland at the Bergerac Resort, the luxury Bergerac Resort, for the 2-day party and the red carpet event. I signed that contract with Amazon. We now have a distributor to distribute our 4K movies and merch. So I'm saying? We made the calls for the IMS cameras, the equipment for the cameras. We made the calls for the CGI technology, unheard of technology for Weta Digital, obviously. We made the calls for the machining for the masks, for you know what I'm saying? The machining for the creating costumes, armored weapons, obviously. We made those calls. We made the calls for the food, the amazing buffet food I'm going to serve for the farms, and the kitchen equipment. We made all those calls now. Now, Jon Favreau and them printed out all this. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, or Joe Russo, Anthony Russo, Ryan Coogler, Ryan Johnson, whoever I hire, right? J.J. Ames, they printed out the scripts for the movie, obviously. The second year now comes by, and now all the actors are getting ready to be flown into Vancouver, obviously. Avon Joji, I won't fly him in because he lives in Vancouver, so I'll just have a limo driver pick him up at his house, and he'll meet up with the other actors in my property. So what I'll do is I'll tell, okay, go to Avon Joji's house first, pick him up, and what I'll do is I'll have one member of my team give the limo driver a copy of Avon Joji's script. When the limo driver picks up Avon Joji, I want you going to his door and giving him the script. And I'll tell Avon Joji to leave the script in his house. That way he doesn't forget. Whereas the other actors who were flying in, you would leave their scripts on the plane. That way they don't forget their scripts, obviously. Because I don't want these guys losing their scripts, man. You know what I'm saying? Leave the scripts on your plane when you arrive to Vancouver. You're excited, you know what I'm saying? All the actors are excited because they're going to be in my movie, obviously. They're all excited. Leave the scripts on the plane when you arrive in Vancouver, obviously. Leave it on the plane, obviously. So I'll have someone pick up Avon Joji at his house, and then they'll leave the script. So the limo driver will give Avon Joji the copy of the script. Okay, Avon Joji, here's your script. Leave the script at home. Don't bring it with you, as you'll be partying up with Ivan after he takes you out to a nice dinner. Okay. Like when you're drunk, you can forget. Obviously, leave the script in your house, and the limo driver will and Avon Joji will meet up with the other actors in my property. Because the jet will land in my property. I'm gonna have a freeway for my jet and everything. It'll land in my property, and the limo driver will pick up the actors and take them to my studio office in my property. I'm gonna have to build a road in my property for the limo driver to drive. Yeah, it takes them to my property, and the actors will sign their contracts. My deal for Avon Joji is $4 million for the movie, and I'll pay him. He gets his $250K royalty check for the merch, and he gets 0.01% of the profits, which is like $5.5 million royalties around there. 5 million, 5.5 million royalties. Hence what? Avon Joji signed like his $9.5 million deal. 9 million deal, $9.5 million deal. It's fat contract. He doesn't make that in Hollywood. That's an A-lister salary. If Avon Joji is going to walk away with what? Like a $5 million, $4.9 million check in his bank after taxes. For all the money he's making, $5 million in his bank after taxes is a fat check. He's gonna strike it rich, man. He's already rich, but he's gonna strike it richer. He's gonna be rich. Buy his nice $1 million condo, get his nice cars, his nice $80,000. Don't forget, you also have the speaking fee earnings. If I go touring, he's gonna make like $200K in speaking fee earnings. Good contract, and I'll sign him to a $1.5 million deal for the game for Avon Joji for the Xenos game. Unreal Engine 5 Xenos game. I'll sign Avon Joji to that deal. Unreal Engine 5 Xenos game. That's my deal for Avon Joji, for the role of Papyri. Then John Boyega, I'll sign him to an $8.9 million deal for the salary. For his salary, he doesn't get a bonus, obviously. $250K royalty check for the merge, and you give him 0.01% of the profits. You will make his $5.5 million in royalties around there. Since John Boyega signed his like his $14.4 million deal. That's a fat contract. That is an A-lister salary. That's how much A-list actors make in Hollywood. John Boyega makes like $1 million on average in Hollywood for his movies. Good deal for John Boyega. And I'll sign him to a $1.5 million deal for the game. For John Boyega. For the Xenos game. That's my deal for John. And then Ariana Grande, if I choose her, I will sign her to a $5 million contract. Because Belle is not as major as Tessitonis and Papyri, I'm not going to pay her as much. Because she's a big A-list actor, pay her a nice, because she's A-list singer, pay her a rising star salary, pay her $5 million, Ariana Grande. It's a good picture for her. When you read the book, Belle is a supporting character. She's not as major as guys like Papyri and Tessitonius. She's a major character, supporting character, but she's not as major as Tessitonius and Papyri. That's why pay her less, pay her 5. But give her a nice chunk of the royalties. Give Ariana Grande 0.05% of the profits. She'll make her 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 million royalties. And so Ariana Grande is signing for 23, 24, 25 million deal. It's a good paycheck for Ariana Grande. She doesn't make that in Hollywood as an actor. She makes a lot of money for her music, but not as an actor. She doesn't bargain for that kind of money. Because she's not that big of an actor, you see what I'm saying? And sign her to a $2 million deal for the game, Ariana Grande. It's a good deal for Ariana Grande. Sign her to a $2 million deal, Ariana Grande, for the game. Good picture for Ariana Grande. Obviously. It's a good picture for Ariana Grande. Good pitcher for Ariana Grande. Good pitcher for Ariana Grande. And then Carl Urban, if he's chosen for the role of Cornelius, sign him to a $4.5 million deal. Because Carl Urban is like a hybrid rising star B-list actor. He's doing The Boys right now. Obviously, The Boys. He's doing The Boys, which is a television show, obviously, popular show, obviously, and you haven't really seen him landing in a bunch of movies. He was in Star Trek, but he had a minor role. He's a rising star B-list actor kind of guy. He had a pretty major role in Star Trek, so pay him a value of $4.5 million, a rising star salary. I can pay him $5 million, but like you got to watch it for your budget. No, man, pay him $4.5 million. Carl Urban for the role. That's good enough for him. He doesn't make that in Hollywood. He makes probably about $1 million, $2 million for The Boys. So pay him $4.5 million, Carl Urban, for the role of Cornelius. And if you thought he destroyed the role of Aemir in Lord of the Rings, he's going to destroy the role for Zanus, man, because I paid him more money. Money talks. The more you pay them, the harder they work, obviously. And you give him 0.05% of the profits. And it's Carl Urban signing like his $10 million deal. It's a fat contract. Like he doesn't make that in Hollywood. He makes probably $1.8 million, $2 million in Hollywood. And he probably only made like $100K for Lord of the Rings. And I paid him $10 million. He'll work triple harder for me. He'll destroy the role. He'll make a good, $5.5 million in royalties, excluding his $4.5 million salary. Don't forget, he lives in New Zealand, I heard. If he lives in New Zealand, he'll make his like $13 million. He'll make his like $6.8 million after taxes. Fat deal for Carl Urban. He'll work hard for me. He'll destroy the role. You strike the rich. He also gets his $250K royalty check for the merch, and he gets his speaking fee earnings if I go touring. He'll make a good $200K, $250K in speaking fee earnings, Carl Urban. $150K in speaking fee earnings. It's a good deal for Carl Urban. The guy's already rich, obviously. These actors are all rich. But if you pay them their millions, obviously, they're going to work harder for you, because all those Hollywood actors are rich people. They're all millionaires. But pay them a lot of money the way he works hard for you. You want Carl Urban to destroy the role as Cornelius, pay him a lot of money. And I'll pay him a $1.5 million deal for the game. Carl Urban. That's my deal for Carl Urban. He gets $1.5 million for the game. And if I end up doing reshoots, which I most likely won't, pay the actors $1.5 million for the reshoots. The B-list actors are rising stars, and the A-list actors you can pay them $2.5 million for the reshoots if you want. But chances are, I don't think I'm going to be doing reshoots because I think Peter Jackson will be fully prepped. I don't think there's going to be any problems. People are like, Ivan, there's nothing wrong with the movie. The movie's fine. We don't have to do any reshoots. Are you sure, Peter? Are you sure you don't have to do any reshoots? No, we don't have to do any reshoots. The movie's fine. I was prepped. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Vigo, I'll pay him a fat contract. He's bigger than all those other guys. Pay him $10 million salary. He doesn't get a bonus. If his agent wants a bonus, but no, Vigo does not get a bonus. He's a smaller ace actor. Pay him his $10 million salary, Vigo. That's more than what he made for Lord of the Rings. For Lord of the Rings, he probably only made like $900,000 or something like that. $1 million around there. And I'm paying him $10 million for the movie. It's a good paycheck for Vigo. And I'll give him 0.02% of the profits, which is probably a good $11 million in royalties. As Vigo signed his $21 million deal. And you give him his $250K royalty check for the merch. And he also gets his speaking fee earnings. So if I go touring, Vigo will make his good he'll make a good like I don't know, $150, $100K in speaking fee earnings. $200K in speaking fee earnings. Good paycheck. In other words, the amount of money the actors are making for Zanus is so much that the money that they make from the merch royalties and the speaking fee earnings, that's enough money for them to get their nice cars. To get their nice cars and their nice clothes and go on their vacations. They don't even have to touch their salary money. And don't forget, the actors also get their commercial money too. Their $60K in commercial money. I forgot to mention that. And I'll pay Vigo $2.5 million for the game. For the Zanus game. It's a good deal for Vigo. And then Don Cheadle, I'll pay him the same thing, $10 million, $250K royalty check, and I'll give him 0.03. He'll make his, like, I don't know, $14 million in royalties. $15 million in royalties, whatever it is. 0.03 is how much? I don't know. 16 million in royalties, whatever he'll make. He'll make a lot of fat contract, obviously. Because I don't know. Something tells me I will choose Don Cheadle over Vigo, but I might choose Don Cheadle is my first choice for Maramis, but I might choose Vigo over him. We'll see what happens, obviously. I think Vigo is very good for Captain Meramis. I can picture him as a captain. He has his bow and arrow. He has this veteran look. You know, I'm saying he's a captain of the Archers. But I can also picture Don Cheadle as Meramis too. It's tough. I'm going to have those two guys fight for the role, obviously. Then Don Cheadle, I'll pay him $3 million for the game, for the Zanes game. It's a good paycheck for Don Cheadle. Obviously. Who else? John Rice Davis, I'll pay him $5 million. I'll pay him $5 million for the role of Eli, and I'll give him 0.01% of the profits. John Rice Davis is a hybrid rising star B-list actor. He's not an A-list actor. After Lord of the Rings, you haven't seen him doing any trilogy movies. Just pay him $5 million for the role. That's a good paycheck for him. Give him 0.01% of profits. He'll make like his $5.5 million in royalties. And Bernard Hill, I'll pay him $3 million. Pay him 0.01. The Anonzo actor for Cornelius, I'll pay him $3 million if he gets the part. I'll give him 0.01% of profits. The actor for Lith, you know what I'm saying? And John Rice Davis, I'll pay him $1.5 million for the game. If he makes it, hopefully he makes it. He will make it. You know what I'm saying? I wish long life for him. You know what I'm saying? Pay him $1.5 million for the game, John Rice Davis. The Bernard Hill, I'll pay him $1.5 million for the game too. And then the Lithius actor, I'll pay her flat $680,000. She gets her $2,000 gift card, 300 gas card, but she doesn't get commercial money. She doesn't get her merch money. She doesn't get squat because the Lithius actor will not be featured on my commercials, and she will not be featured on the posters. Hence why she doesn't get squat for any of that. She gets her flat $680,000, which is a good paycheck. She's gonna walk away with a nice, I don't know, $300,000 in her bank after tax. It's a nice paycheck for a pretty minor role. Pretty minor, pretty major role. Because Lithius is not a major character. She's not a minor character. She's pretty major, but she's not that major. Hence why I pay her $680,000. The actor for Baramis, I'll pay him a flat $680,000 too. He doesn't get squat for the merch or the royalties. Or, you know what I'm saying? And what? Pay him $680K. The actor for Morale, I'll pay him $680K too. Morale is a pretty major character. He's a major character, obviously, but he's not as major as Faful and Aratat. Well, Morale's just as major as Faful, but Faful has a bigger role to play in the plot. The actor for Morale, I'll pay like $680,000, $700K, $680K, $650K. I can pay the actor for Morale, but he doesn't get squat the royalties or anything like that. And those actors, I'll give them a $50,000 re-release deal. So every time I release my movies, you get $50K in your bank. It's a good paycheck for those actors. You know what I'm saying? And the actor for what? The actor for Fool, I'll pay like $1 million, $1.5 million. That actor will most likely be a B-list actor. Pay that actor $1 million, $1.5 million. You can give him $250K for the role, because the actor for Fool will be featured on the posters too. I want Fool featured on the posters too. Or no, I might not have Fool featured on the poster. No, he's featured. Half Fool featured. Fool and Aratar are the two major antagonists, villains, right? Give him $250K, pay him $1 million, $1.5 million for the role. You give him a $1.5 million deal for the game. And the actor for Aratat, Benjamin Cumberjack, or William Dafoe, pay them a good $6 million for the reason why I'm paying Benjamin Cumberjack and them less is because they're voice acting. Because you don't see their faces, they're not worth as much money. Because they're big actors, pay them the rich millions. Pay them $6 million, but don't let them dupe you. If they want like 10, I'm like, guys, I'm not going to pay you $10 million, man. $6 million is good enough. But I'll give Benjamin Cumberjack a bigger chunk of the pie for the royalties. I'll give him 0.03, which is a good what? 0.03 is a good what? I don't know, $14, $15 million in royalties. It's a good paycheck for Benjamin Cumberjack. He'll make a good, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 million dollars in royalties around there. I don't know what 0.03 is, but he'll make a lot of money. Okay, Benjamin Cumberjack, I'll pay you a smaller salary, but I'll give you a bigger chunk of the profits. Is that a good deal? That's a good deal. I'll give you 0.03. You're going to make your millions in profits. You're, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 million dollars in royalties, excluding your sister. All right, that's a good deal. That's a good deal, Ivan. Yeah, if you want Benjamin Cumberbatch to destroy the role of Aratat, give him a good deal like that. Pay him a small salary, $6 million. Do something like the Ariana Grande deal. Pay him $6 million for the base salary, obviously, but you give him 0.03% of the profits. And then William Dafoe, I'll pay him $6 to match his salary with Benjamin Cumberbatch, and you pay him 0.02, because he's not as big. He's worth like about $30 million around there, right? Give him 0.02%. He'll make a nice like $11 million in royalties. Benjamin Cumberjack. William Dafoe will make a good like 11 million role. It's a good deal. And Idris Elba, and I'll sign those guys to a I'll sign William Dafoe to a $2.5 million deal for the game, voice acting for Arata, and I'll sign Benjamin Cumberbatch to a $3 million deal for the game because he's really big. He's worth like $40 million. It's a good deal for Benjamin Cumberbatch. And he gets his $250K royalty check. He'll be featured on the posters, and he gets his commercial money. The actor for Fool and Arata are also going to be in my commercial too. They're going to be in my commercial. They're going to be featured on the ads with me. So all the main human actors and the two villains are featured on the ads with me, the posters and the commercials, whereas everyone else are not featured. Right. So the actors for Bass, Mask, those guys pay them $300K base salary. They don't get squat royalties. They get the $2,000 for $500 but they don't get squat royalties. They don't get their commercial money. They don't get their merch money. They're not going to with me. They're minor characters. Pay those guys $350K. That's a good paycheck for them. And they get their $50K for the release. That's my deal for them. The actor for Ephesus, I'll pay him $450K. It's a good deal. But he doesn't get squat off the royalties, off the merch, anything, because he's a minor character. He won't be featured in the commercials. He won't go touring with me. Pay him a nice $450K if you want him to destroy the role of the role of Ephesus. And the actor for Elizabeth, I'll pay like $350K too. Elizabeth is a minor character. And Angelina Bassett, she'll play the role of Queen Sarah. I'll pay her $8.5 million for the role of Queen Sarah. That's a good paycheck for her. And I'll give her 0.01. It depends on how much she's worth. If she's worth like 30 million plus, I'll give her 0.02%. But I'll pay her 8.5 because Queen Sarah is pretty major. She's not as major as Tessa Tony's and Cassie's and all them. She's a major character, but she's not as major as Tessa Tony's and Cassie's and all them. Pay her 8.5. It's a good paycheck for her. But I'll give her 0.01% of the profits. Angelina Bassett, and I'll sign her to a $2 million deal for the game. And then Andy Serkis, I'll sign him to a $7.8 million contract. Because Joe was not as major as Queen Sarah and all them, Tony's and Cassie's. Because he's an A-list actor, pay him a rich salary, pay him $7.8 million. Andy Serkis, it's a good paycheck for him, and you give him 0.01% of the profits. You'll make a good $5.5 million. So he signed his like 12, he signed like his 13.3 million deal, whatever it is. Andy Serkis. Good paycheck for Andy Serkis. Walk away with millions in his bank, and you sign him to a $2 million deal for the game. So all my actors, all my stars are going to be featured on all my games. Right? And Digimon Su, I'll sign him to a $10.9 million deal. The reason why I'm paying Digimon Su a lot of money, because Cassius is a very, very major character. When you read the book, you'll see what I mean. Cassius is a very major character. That's why I'm paying Digimon Su a lot of money. Pay him $10.9 million for salary. Good paycheck for him. $10.9 million salary. I'm paying him even more than Vigo and Dawn because Cassius is a very major character. Even though Vigo and Dawn are bigger than Digimon Su, Cassius contributes more to the role than Meramis and the Meramis. That's why pay Digimon Su a lot of money. Pay him a nice $10.5 million. $10.9 million. You give him 0.01% of the profits. And he signed like his $16.5 million deal, $16.4 million deal. It's a good paycheck for a Digimon Su. And you sign him to a $2 million deal for the game. And he gets his $250K royalty check, commercial money, and that's a good deal for Digimon Su, obviously. Then last but not least, Idris Elba, I'll sign him to a what? I'll sign him to a $12.5 million. I'll pay him the most because he starts off the story and Taki's the first is a major part of the plot, and he's the most perfect casting choice out of all the actors. In my opinion, who's the most perfect casting choice? Idris Elba is the most perfect casting choice out of all the actors. Hence why I am paying him the most money. I want him to destroy the role. Pay him $12.5 million salary, $250K royalty check for the merch, commercial money. He'll be featured on the commercials with me. Featured on the commercials and the posters. Obviously, $250K royalty check. Obviously. Speaking of your earnings, if I go touring and you give him 0.02% of profits, Idris Elba, he'll make $11 million in royalties. That's a good. So Idris Elba signed his what? Like his $23 million deal, $23.5 million deal, whatever it is. He signed. Good paycheck, and I'll give him $2.5 million for the game. Idris Elba. So he'll be in the prologue. You're going to play as him in the prologue of the game. Pay him a good $2.5 million, Idris Elba, to voice act, to do voice acting work for the game. And that's my deal for all the Zayn's actors, for all my stars. And then the actors for the Crows and the Eagles, those actors you pay like 150 grand, 100K around there. They don't get squat off the rollies. They don't get anything. They just get their flat 100K, and you give them 50K for the releases. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And the actor for Bo is a minor character. Pay that actor 250K. He gets his flat. That actor, you pay him 200, 250K for the role. 200, 250K for the role. That's a good paycheck. That's all he gets, and he gets his $50,000 release, $2,000 300 gas card. The only thing all the minor actors get are the gift cards and the 300 gas card. They get that, but they don't get the royalty checks. They're not featured in the posters. They don't get their commercial money. They don't get any of that because they're not going to be featured on the posters, and they're not going to be featured on the commercials on my website. That's why they don't get squaw off that. You know what I'm saying? They get their flat salary, and that's it. $2,000 gift card, 300 gas card, and you give them 50K for the releases, which is a good deal. Yeah, the actor for Darius, Bass, and Mass, those guys pay them 300K, 350K. Flat salary, that's it. That's good enough. It's good enough paycheck. They're minor characters. And you give them a $2,300 gas card. If they want more money, I'm like, guys, you're a minor character. I'm not going to pay you millions. 300K is a good... This is how much Lord of the Rings actors made for a major role, man. I'm paying you this for a minor role. This is a guy, I mean, that's a good deal. Or, it's a nice paycheck. Yeah, it's a nice pay. You can buy a nice car with this money, man. A nice $60,000 Benz with this money. This money is not to last you for good, you know what I'm saying? 8 months, a year. It's a decent paycheck for a minor role. It's a nice paycheck, obviously. You got your buffet. You're not my stars. You're not featured on the posters with me. Don't hate me. You're not gonna be on the commercials. You're not gonna go tour with me, but you're gonna get a nice paycheck. You get your flat paycheck, and that's it. And then the minor characters, you pay them like 300K for the game, 400. The actor for Lithius and Barrymans, I can pay them 400K for the game. That's good. That's a good deal for them. And the actor for Bo and all them, the feasts, you pay those guys like 250K, 300K for the game. It's a good paycheck. 250, 300K for the game. Whereas your stars, you pay them the millions for the game. And that is my deal for all the Zayn's actors. Hence why Peter Jackson, once I fly in all the stars and I sign all those contracts with Peter will be shocked to be like, holy shit, Ivan, this is the biggest contract ever for the entire cast. All your stars are making their consistent millions. Even your minor characters are making a rich salary, Ivan. Like, this is how much my Lord of the Rings actors got for a major role. 400K for minor role, Ivan? Like, in Hollywood, they get like 60K, Ivan, 80K. You're paying them 300K for 400K, 680K for a minor role, Ivan? You're paying them a lot of money. This is the biggest contract ever for the entire cast, so I know, Peter. Ivan, you're being it with your generous, man. You're giving all the actors a piece of your money, man. They're not even worth it. You're the main show. You can feature the main show, Ivan. You're giving all the actors just a piece of your money like that, Ivan? I'm like, Peter, I know what I'm doing. You give them pieces of the royalties. They're going to work harder for you. They're going to destroy the role even more than what your Lord of the Rings actors did. You know what I'm saying? Ivan, my Lord of the Rings actors got peanuts. They still work hard for me. You don't have to give them a piece of royalties. The amount of money you're paying them is good enough. They can feed their families for years, Ivan. They're going to work hard for you. I'm like, Peter, I know what I'm doing. You get a piece of royalties. They're sharing in my success. They're going to destroy the role, man. They're going to work double hard for you. Yeah, Ivan, you're right. You give them a piece of your royalties. They're going to work even triple harder for you, for me, Ivan. Yes, they're going to work triple harder for you. For you, Peter. Yeah, man, they're going to work triple harder for you, Peter. Yeah. They're going to work triple harder for you. Yeah, man. And that's why Zayn's will guarantee me better than Lord of the Rings. Because the Lord of the Rings crewmen got paid 150K. They're going to work double harder for me. Peter Jackson got paid more than what he made for Lord of the Rings. They'll work harder for me. My 17 got paid a lot of money. They'll work harder for me. My actors got paid rich salary. They're going to work harder for me. Hence why Zayn's will guarantee me better than Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings. Everyone will work harder, double harder for me than what they did for Lord of the Rings. See what I'm saying? Anyways, that's it for this video. I'm going to shut this camera off, upload it, take my shower, and enjoy the show with you guys. And tonight, I'll get my smokes. I might make another video and enjoy the show with you guys afterwards. I'm signing out. Peace.